Okay, welcome everybody to our 6th annual creek cleanup, and we want to thank you for turning out. This is wonderful turnout. Last year we had just 4 scouts, and so I'm just really excited about what a great turnout it is this year. What this is all about is the South Lyon water. It's all about water, and this is a map of the bigger area. We're looking at all of Livingston County, Oakland, Wayne, and Washtenaw, and we're right in like a corner of the 4 counties. That's our South Lyon area. This represents an aquifer. An aquifer is a storage place for water, and it's below ground. It's down below our feet, 1,000 feet below. And it's not just a body of water, it's in porous rock. And all kinds of sediment and soil that build up over many thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years. So that water is our lifeblood. Without water, we're not going to survive. So it's vital to our survival. It's vital to our economy. It's vital to our industry, like this industry here, Michigan Seamless, and so we want to maintain it and we want to protect it. Now, what you guys are doing is a small part of that today. You're cleaning up the surface. Now, keep in mind, all the water has to be renewed. It's not just a bunch of water that's down there. It's going to stay there and we're just going to keep drawing off of it. What it is a renewable source, because the rain comes down and it goes back into the soil, soaks down through it. As it goes through the soil, it filters the water. The soil does, and the rock, soil and rock, and that water down and below is kept in a very good, controlled, clean manner. So over here at the well, right here over in McCaddy Park, the city of South Lyon has pumps that pump the water back up to the water tower over on this way, and then throughout the whole system there's arteries of water that go all throughout to all the households and businesses of South Lyon. So it's vital to our survival, it's vital to our economy. Okay? Now, this is another map that I've got that shows the houses and schools, businesses. Here's Michigan Seamless right here. We're right in the parking lot in front of it, right here. That's our location. Now, in light blue, you'll see there are some waterways. You have to get kind of close to see it really well. But up here, this is called South Lyon Drain number 1. And I'd like one group to go out to that area and clean that. I'd like another group to go to this area. This is called Lyon Drain number 1. And then there's the waterway that cuts through McCaddy Park is called Yerkes Drain, and it goes way through here. This is probably the biggest single waterway that passes through South Lyon. It's not a river, it's just a creek, but it carries quite a bit of water. Then there's another one called Sayre Drain, right over here, and that comes from behind Sayre School. It comes across this way, and it ties down in here to Underhill Drain. So I've got like 3 areas to work on here, actually 4 if you consider the one on the east side of Pontiac Trail. So my objective is to get different smaller groups, each small group to go to a specific area, gather up all the trash and debris that they can find, bring it back, and we'll put it in the roll-off box. And that's going to have an effect of keeping the waterways clear, getting debris out of them. And we have found such contaminants as oil. One time we found a bottle of oil that luckily it didn't rupture. Somebody had just thrown it into the water. If that had ruptured, that oil, and as we all know, oil in water is not good, but luckily our group brought that oil back, and we disposed of it properly. We didn't let it get into the water. And we've taken out refrigerators, air conditioners, satellite dishes, tires, all kinds of things like that. And if you need saws, I have a chainsaw for the adults to use, not scouts. the adults need to come back and get the chainsaw, I have a chainsaw. I also have some hand saws over here. I have some hand saws, so if you run into a place where there's fallen wood that's blocking it off and preventing the flow of water, because if, in addition to picking up trash, we clear the debris so that the water can continue to flow in an easy manner down the creek place. All right, so that's briefly, in a nutshell, what we've got. Now, I want some warnings out there, so I want you to be aware of some dangers. This is an area that is a popular area for a little snake called the Mississauga rattler snake. It's a little tiny snake. It's only about this long, 30 inches. I saw one over at Proud Lake Recreation Area. It was about 30 inches long. Of course, when it's coiled up, it's only about this big. But it's a fat little snake. It'll be about an inch in diameter in the middle of its body. But it behaves just like any rattler you've seen on television, or if you've ever seen a live rattler, you know how they coil up and they're very scared and they rattle to make you stay away, and they'll strike at you, and they can strike about 6-8 inches from them. Now, most of the time when a snake is hunting or it's sunning itself, it's not coiled up in a defensive posture. Once it sees you, if you startle it, it's going to go into a defensive posture. It's saying, leave me alone and I won't hurt you. You should listen to that, because that's a good advice. If you leave it alone, it won't hurt you. And there's really no need to kill that little snake. It's not a threat to us. It's not going to come and break into our houses. Okay, so let nature go have its course. It's tough enough on them fighting against raccoons and fox and coyotes, things that are going to eat it. So it doesn't need humans to hurt it. So leave the snakes alone. If you happen to get bit by it, you're going to get very sick. There's never been a recorded case of a death from a Mississauga rattler in Michigan, but it will make you quite sick, because it's a very small snake. It's not like a great big timber rattler. You've probably seen pictures of those in Pennsylvania, I think, are the biggest ones. They can get around like that big in the body, and their fangs are as big as my fingers. So those are big snakes. We're not dealing with that here. This is a little tiny snake. Its whole head is probably only about an inch or inch and a half at the biggest. But that's one danger. Another danger are snapping turtles. Now, snapping turtles they're very solitary creatures. They stay in the bottom of the water, but you're going to be in an area where you might startle one. If you come walking up on a snapping turtle, the worst thing you can do is fool with it. Leave it alone, guys. I know that young people have a tendency to tempt danger. I was a young man too, and I used to hunt snakes with my cousin down in Tennessee. We were hunting snakes that were rattlesnakes and copperheads and cottonmouths. And I tell you now, as an adult, I wouldn't do what I did as a kid, because I wasn't aware of the danger I was in. I was turning rocks over with my bare hands, and we were trying to catch snakes. So my cousin could have got me killed. So leave the snakes alone, leave the turtles alone. I wanted to tell you one story about a turtle. I'm from Tennessee. I was born in Tennessee, and my brother Tommy took us fishing one time to a lake that, surprisingly enough, was called Turtle Lake. So I had a bobber. I was wearing shorts and sandals. Didn't have on any socks or shoes or boots or anything. So I saw this place where I thought a bass would be laying for sure. So I just took my line and I laid it down in the water real slow. I had a big old wad of worm down on the bottom, and I went down, and sure enough, my bobber popped down, and I pulled up. Nothing happened. My rod was bent way over, and I'm going, whoa, what the heck? And I go, and I give it a little more pull, a little more pull, a little more pull, and finally it broke free, and I came up and I set the turtle. It was a It wasn't a very big turtle. It was a snapping turtle.